Today, we're looking at a specific set of sources, basically info that seems to come right off an event website.
That's right. We're focusing on Brännbollsyran 2025.
And our goal really is just to unpack this material, pull out the key details, give you the clearest possible picture based only on what's in these sources.
Exactly. No outside info, just what the pages say.
Okay, so let's set the scene a little. It's happening May 28th to the 31st, 2025. Location, Umeå, Sweden.
Up in northern Sweden.
And right away, there's something interesting. The sources call it Northern Scandinavia's largest music festival. Big claim.
Huge claim, but then I immediately start talking quite a bit about a sports tournament, too.
Yeah, so it's got this, dual personality right from the get-go.
Definitely. That headline, Northern Scandinavia's largest music festival in Umeå, May 28-31, 2025. That's the hook.
But yeah, like you said, it's not just music. This Brännboll Cup, the sports thing, is presented as a really core part of it all.
It really is. That combination seems to be what makes it stand out in the description. It's not your typical festival setup, apparently.
Absolutely. It feels like the sources are painting a picture of, well, two main pillars holding up this one event name.
Yeah, the big music festival part and this pretty significant Brännboll Cup element.
Okay, and this is where, based on these sources, it gets quite intricate. The whole thing isn't just in one spot or the same format the whole time. It actually moves around.
Right. The schedule seems key here. Let's trace it through how the source lays it out.
Okay, so start of the week, Wednesday, May 28th and Thursday the 29th. The source says Brännbollsyran begins in the evening at a place called Skepsbron.
Skepsbron. And they describe it pretty simply for those first two nights, concerts, DJs, and party. Straightforward.
And importantly, the age limit mentioned for Skepsbron then is alla åldrar,
Which means all ages, so open to everyone for that initial part.
Then the focus seems to shift, or maybe expand. From Thursday the 29th through Saturday the 31st, Miriam's Sangarna becomes a major location.
Yes, that's pinned as the spot for the Brännboll Cup tournament itself, the actual games.
And the sources really, they build this part up. They call it a folk festival.
They do. And mention over 300 other teams and thousands of players getting involved.
And here's a line that really stands out. They say it could be your only chance to participate in a world championship for Brännboll.
Yeah, that's quite a statement for this tournament. A world championship.
Makes you wonder about the scale, right?
Yeah.
And a nice detail for people just wanting to check it out. The source says free entree.
Free entry. So if you just want to go watch the games at Murray Himsingarna, you can without a ticket for that part.
Okay, so then we get to the end of the week, Friday the 30th and Saturday the 31st. The festival side keeps going, but it moves.
Right. It shifts over to Hedlunda for those 2 days. And this is described as a maxed festival experience.
Yeah, Hedlunda on Friday and Saturday sounds like the main festival hub. The source mentions artists, DJs, silent disco, and karaoke.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
And interestingly, just like Skepsbron earlier, the age limit specified for Hedlunda is also alla åldrar, all ages again.
The source also pulls out the after party as a specific thing. It happens Friday and Saturday evening, May 30th and 31st.
At the temple stage, it says, which seems to be within that Hedlunda area.
And, you guessed it, the age limit for the after party, also listed as alla åldrar.
So quite open in terms of age for the main party zones.
But wait, there's a really crucial detail here in the source, adds a wrinkle. It explicitly talks about Skepsbron again on May 30th and 31st, but calls it a separate event.
Ah, okay. So separate from the main festival at Hedlunda on those same nights.
Exactly. The source specifically says artists playing at Skepsbron then, like it mentions Kosh and E-Type. They're part of their own separate event, distinct from Brännbollsyran at Hedlunda.
That's a really important distinction the source makes. So parallel events happening. Okay, let's focus back on Hedlunda then. For the 30th and 31st, the main festival site, the scale mentioned is pretty big.
Yeah, the sources claim it draws over 16,000 visitors per evening annually. That's a serious crowd.
And the music they promise. The phrasing is Stora internationella välkänner och Sveriges hetaste artister.
Which translates to large international world stars and Sweden's hottest artists. So big names, both global and local.
And they list some past examples to give a flavor. People like Marshmello, Central C, Future, Kygo, the Chainsmokers.
Zara Larsson, the Kid Laroi, Martin Garrix too. It definitely suggests a high caliber of electronic and pop acts based on that list. That seems to be the focus for Hedlunda.
And it's not just music stages at Hedlunda, according to the source. They list other things to, quote, Festivalen, maximize the festival.
Right, like specific mentions of selfie spots, a karaoke tent, a silent disco tent.
Also, a Tivoli, like amusement park rides and various partner activations. So trying to create a whole environment.
Definitely sounds like more than just watching bands. And then they mention food and drink, too, of course.
Yeah, they talk about Spannende food trucks, exciting food trucks offering food from all corners of the world.
And a rich selection of refreshing alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. Standard festival stuff, but they make a point of mentioning the variety.
So let's just quickly circle back to the Brännboll Cup, because the source keeps highlighting it as this, separate but core piece.
Okay, so reminder, Mariehamn Sangarna, May 29th to 31st.
That World Championship claim again, over 300 teams, thousands of players.
And the source emphasizes that everyone is welcome to participate. Though, obviously, you need to register your team to actually play.
But yeah, the free entry for spectators is mentioned again, too. Just come and watch the games.
Okay, what about getting into the main festival parts? Tickets. The sources say availability is announced.
And they list different levels, basic, comfort, and premium tickets.
And different durations, too. You can get 2, 3, or 4-day tickets, it seems. So some flexibility there.
So if we just recap the age limits, based only on what the sources clearly state.
Right. It's alla Åldrar, all ages, for the main music party zones. Skeppsbron on the 28th, 29th.
Hedlunda on the 30th, 31st.
And the after party at Temple Stage on the 30th, 31st.
And the Brännboll Cup area, Mariehamn Sangarna, has that free entry for visitors, which implies it's generally open access too, at least to watch.
Okay, so putting all this together, just from the source material, what is Brännbollsyran 2025?
Well, it's definitely not presented as just one simple thing. It comes across as this large, sprawling, multi-day event in Umeå.
And it very deliberately seems to blend these two quite different elements.
Exactly. You've got the huge music festival side, pulling in big crowds, international artists, happening at Hedlunda mainly, but also kicking off at Skeppsbron.
And then you've got this, well, self-proclaimed world championship Brännboll tournament, described more like a folk festival at Mariehamn Sangarna.
It's depicted as spread out, multiple locations, different things happening at the same time across the city almost.
Yeah, different vibes too. Intense sports competition over here, huge concerts and parties over there,
Yeah.
silent disco, karaoke.
It sounds like it's designed to offer a real mix of experiences.
It's a really interesting mix described in these sources, which kind of leaves you with a question, doesn't it?
Yeah. What's that?
Well, given that the material pushes both angles so strongly, largest music festival and this Brännboll World Championship, what does that unique combination, spread across different places and times, really suggest of the overall spirit they're trying to create?
Like, how do they actually expect someone attending to experience both? What's the connection supposed to be between the massive party at Hedlunda and the community sports feel at Mariehamn Sangarna?
Exactly. It's a structure that definitely makes you think about that relationship, the music and the sport, and how they fit together in the context of this particular event as the sources describe it.